to a new edition of Africa Today. Today we are going to talk about the roundtable that was organized by the Ministry of International Cooperation to mark 1 year of the Nexus on Water, Food and Energy, the NWFE program. The NWFE program includes 9 projects with investments of $14.7 million. Among these is an energy mega project to replace conventional power stations with facilities fueled by renewable energy at a cost of $10 billion. More in this report.
Egypt witnessed the launch of a high-level roundtable organized by the Ministry of International Cooperation to mark 1 year of the Nexus on Water, Food and Energy NWFE program. The U.S. climate envoy lauded the program for financing eco-friendly green projects. Ministries of Electricity, Renewable Energy, Environment, Agriculture, Transport, Water Resources and Irrigation joined with the chairman of the Suez Canal Economic Zone to discuss progress on the NWFE program. Attendees included the heads of the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, International Fund for Agricultural Development, and African Development Bank, as well as the EU, World Bank, International Finance Corporation (IFC), USAID, and representatives from Germany, France, US, Denmark, Canada, Switzerland, and the UK. The International Cooperation Ministry said, in collaboration with the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, alongside other partners and relevant national authorities, significant milestones have been achieved, including the identification of 2 stations among the 12 for decommissioning, part of a broader plan to phase out 5 gigawatts of thermal stations. Additionally, grants totaling $40 million have been secured to bolster this initiative. The ministry added that agreements for a renewable generation capacity of 3.7 gigawatts out of a 10 gigawatt target were successfully secured with private sector involvement. The event reviewed aspects of the NWFE and launched the first follow-up report on linking water, food and energy initiatives. The NWFE program includes 9 projects with investments of $14.7 billion. Among these is an energy mega project to replace conventional power stations with facilities fueled by renewable energy at a cost of $10 billion. Over the past year, Egypt signed many MOUs with various international entities to attract foreign investment in green hydrogen and to become a hub for hydrogen production. In June, the Egyptian government updated its Nationally Determined Contributions (NDC), which included setting more ambitious greenhouse gas GHG emissions reduction targets and securing the needed finances. Sustainable transportation projects were later added to the program, transforming it into the NWFE Plus program. The NWFE Plus thus came to light with the participation of national authorities and relevant parties.
And we are joined over the phone by Dr. Ahmed Laithi. Nasef is an economic expert. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon to you.
So, Dr. Ahmed, how do you see the progress in energy, food and water files in Egypt?
Well, as many different projects and files that the current administration of President Sisi has taken the country through, I think we are advancing at a very, very high pace on these 3 subjects. We see for the first time that we are trying to think strategically for a change with the President Sisi vision for what needs to be done in the country on these 3 critical aspects. Specifically, if we take the dimension of water, we've seen the efforts that has been done to conserve water, and all these plans to cover the water passes across the country that was wasting a huge amount of water, to be able to consolidate our water resources to be utilized and reutilized in agriculture. We see also the water treatment facilities which helps us once more not just to throw the used water, but to retreat it and make it available to expand our agricultural land, which is most needed nowadays with the expansion of the Egyptian population. And lastly, but not least, is the working on the projects of water desalination or seawater desalination to be able again to increase our water resources and explore a very large number of very ambitious targets that the president has set for the administration to increase the crops of Egypt. We've seen that the agricultural crops represent a very important part of the Egyptian exports, and they're on the rise. They're probably the fastest growing sector in our exports, almost doubled versus last year in the latest number we saw for 2023. So we're focusing extremely aggressively and passionately and strategically on the evolution of these resources. As for the energy, the whole world actually is going through a major transition period where nobody anymore, or not nobody, but we see the era of the petrol almost starting to fade away. When we see major car producers in the world announcing different dates, but around 2030 and 2035, that some of them would announce that 80% of their production will be with renewable energy, some are with less aggressive, and some are more aggressive. We see companies dedicated 100% for electric cars. We see countries or markets like the U.S. Who are giving major subsidies for petrol stations to transform or accommodate at least for the hybrid model of cars and the electric cars. We know that the future is starting to shape up, and we know how things will look down only about a few years down the road, 10 to 15 years from today. So President Sisi, with his strategic look, is putting the focus on that direction. He's not like what we had previously with previous administration, focusing on what we have today. No. He's looking at the future, how things will look like, and then he's preparing the country to be able to accommodate for the future. As the great slogan says, the future is now. If you want to manage the future, you need to start working now on what is going to happen in the future. And this is exactly what he's doing with his sound leadership for the country. So as the petrol is going to fade away, we're focusing on the electricity sources that are either from green hydrogen or from the windmills or alternatively also the solar power. And we have the Bin-Ban solar station or solar field, which is one of the largest in the world and the second in Africa. So I think we recognize the direction where the world is changing to, and we are following this dimension or this direction, which is the right thing definitely to do.
Yes, Dr. Ahmed, also how do you see the importance of green projects in Egypt and Africa?
It is, again, the new petrol. It's the new revolution in the energy. Egypt is leading the continent. This is a fact. We are a trendsetter in the African continent. And we are also bringing our brothers in different countries, whether in North Africa or Sub-Saharan Africa, to be all on the same page. We see this as the future for the continent. And we are blessed as a country, specifically Egypt and the rest of the continent, that we have a climate and we have the natural resources that allows us to become the key supplier for the rest of Europe, mostly, which is a high consumption countries or area or region, where they will have tremendous needs for this clean energy. Because we're starting today we have our eye on the future. We are investing while it's still cheap, while the market is not so crowded by so many different players, and this is the right thing to do. I've seen the numbers that we are putting in. They are not huge at this stage, but it is a good first step. And we earn as we go. As we grow the revenue, we grow the investment, which again is a very wise approach to this new unventured territory that we have been setting in a very prudent and risk-calculating manner.
Yes, Dr. Ahmed, also the U.S. climate envoy lauded the Egyptian program for financing eco-friendly and green projects. What's your take on this?
Again, what we're doing is being recognized by so many different institutions and so many different countries. The U.S. is recognizing Egypt's efforts in this area, and when the U.S., which is the largest economy on the planet, recognizes Egypt, then it tells us or sends us a very clear, loud and clear message that we are on the right track. People recognize the effort that's being done in Egypt under the leadership of President Sisi, and how we are moving in the right direction. So they are supporting us and investing with us. So I think this is a certification of validity and that we are on the right track, and we need to keep pushing in that direction. Otherwise, they wouldn't have supported us.
Yes, Dr. Ahmed, also over the past years, Egypt signed many memorandums of understandings with various international entities to attract foreign investments in green hydrogen and to become a hub for hydrogen production. Why are foreign investors interested in injecting big money in green hydrogen projects?
A green hydrogen project is one of the cleanest source of energy known to mankind until today in the planet's history. You know,
yes.
It started with wood and charcoal and so many, the whole trip, you know, and they were very polluting to the environment. And even, you know, now the companies, actually, in some countries, force companies to report what they call their carbon footprint and how much would your factory be producing in terms of polluting the environment.
Yes.
Green hydrogen does not do that. Green hydrogen is one of the cleanest, once more, form of energy. Egypt is blessed that we do have access probably to generate this sort of energy at a very low cost. It is, I think it is like the 1970s for the Arabian Gulf, you know, when they discovered petrol after 1973 war, and then the petrol price started to go up and their economy started to boom. This is the new petrol. This is the new energy form that I think will have a huge return to the Egyptian economy in the middle and long terms, because you know, this is the new form of energy. Very soon it will not be possible to operate vehicles or factories with fossil petrol anymore because of the effect. But the technology is still young. There is still a lot of learning. It needs to be secured and needs to be a safe technology. There is a lot of research to be done, but it will get there because the focus, and we know that we need to leave this planet in a very livable condition for our children and their children if we want humanity to continue on the planet.
Dr. Ahmed, unfortunately, we are running out of time. Dr. Ahmed Laithi, Nasef, economic expert, thank you, sir, for being with us today. And by that, dear viewers, we come to the end of today's edition of Africa Today. Thank you for watching.